Dai family, and welcome to another episode of Dr. Mumbi Spiritual Show. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. Here more with a friendly reminder, family, of the importance of the narrative. I think if you've been listening to me for any amount of time now, I'm literally preaching to the converted. But I saw someone left a comment the other day where they were talking about how the narrative fuels the 3D reality, and whoever controls the narrative controls the reality. And I really want you to allow this to penetrate your soul and for you to really, really understand, overstand, and inner stand and side stand why the narrative has been so important, why they've come for our stories, why they've come for our gods, why they've come to destroy and demonize our ancestors, and why even for us, the oral traditions became so important in passing by, down that, just the essence, and the way we did it would not limit, because Babylon wants to define absolutely everything for you. They want to tell you, 1866 at 10:25 a.m. in here, there. They want to define and confine reality to all these description words. Whereas our ancestors kept it abstract. It was more like keys, spiritual keys, astral keys. And there were certain stories we'd be told about the fox, the deer, and the gazelle or whatever. Or certain stories about princes and princesses, those who were proud and things didn't turn out too good for them. They always shared stories in a way, because mainly the stories were for children. Because by a certain level, you'd already come into your full mind. But they always told of all the characters, the wicked ones, the good ones, the eternal fight between good and evil. But as we moved more into the Babylon narrative, many of us could no longer dissect or even understand and understand our own stories, our own narratives. And so many of them were taken, erased, whitewashed. I think we really take for granted, family, how much has been done to get us into someone else's story, to keep us in that story. Africa is the only place where pastors and preachers know the true nature of the Most High and so-called Jesus. But they'll never tell you it was not Mzungu Jesus, as in, is it Sergio Borgie or whoever. And speaking of which, family, Ron Dalton has gotten a new theater in South Africa for the very first premiere of Hebrew to Negroes on the Motherland. It will be taking place on June 11th, 2023. This is awesome. And, I think Just Soweto Theatre even makes it more epic and historic. So if you're in Johannesburg, if you're in the Soweto area, definitely consider supporting our brother. Show up, show out. I'm sure there'll be so many interesting people to meet, so many interesting conversations to be had, and it will just generally be an awesome, awesome, awesome event. And in fact, family, the lengths that Babylon has gone to keep this particular movie out of the South African minds confirms what I'm saying about the narrative is everything. And the reason that Babylon is breaking down right now is because the narrative is breaking down in our collective minds. People are disconnecting, people are elevating, people are empowering themselves. And we're no longer at the mercy of these negative news cycles of Babylon. And it's having a massive effect because they're trying to throw certain spells over the collective consciousness and it's not catching. Because they had planned for like a lockdown immediately after the previous lockdown, like no wasting time. But the collective consciousness rejected that and the alternative news shared too much. The narrative fuels reality. And whoever controls the narrative is controlling and driving reality. The only reason we are not back in our power is because we are not in our own narrative. It is only when we're able to make our mind, because right now the mind is set on the Babylon reality. We need to reset the mind back into our way of life, into our higher realms, into our dimension. And that's the only way, family, that we can escape the snare of Babylon. Because I'm reporting live and direct from 5D reality. And the one thing I can tell you, family, is that 5D is a very sophisticated, higher level way of thinking, of being, where it's more about your spiritual life, your spiritual practices, manifesting, creating, having fun, talking with others. It's like when you meet others on 5D who are in that higher mindset, you guys quicken each other and miracles come in much faster. But you have to get out of the set mind of Babylon and enter the mind of the Creator. You have access to that. Not everyone even has access to the mind of the Creator. But as a child of the Most High, that is something you have access to. That is your inheritance. That is the inheritance that has been taken from you. Because once the mind is right, then all those other things, the rubies, the diamonds, the emeralds, I met an elder once who told me that we are the emeralds. We are the gold. It is our vibration that connects with Mama Earth that births those things, that puts those things in the ground. And so if we were to disappear, the rubies, the diamonds, the gold would also disappear. Which means if they can disappear, then they can also reappear. And we use those crystal grids for something. They were put in certain places because even when you talk, and I'm digressing, but let me just share this. Even when you talk to the people who find like these amethyst mounds, they'll tell you it's a massive boulder, like a massive stone. And then when you crack it is when you see all the amethyst crystals. These were probably created to maybe elevate the earth into 5D, 6D, 7D, who knows? But one day we will know. If you start today by getting back into your own narrative, into the narrative of your people, then that will work as a vehicle to take you back into the reality and dimension and experience of our people. And for a while, you may be in this world, but not of it. But soon enough, you'll transition to the true heaven on earth, but those are stories for other days. Tuko pamoja.